Good morning, everybody. Lois with LA Grace's Attic here. It is quite early, and I thought we'd make breakfast together this morning. Of course, this isn't a crafty craft, but I'm a mom, right? A busy mom, and so I thought I'd show you an family favorite, an old favorite, one that my kids still ask for today. I've been making it for so our oldest is 34, and she actually just this past week asked me for the recipe. Hey mom, don't you have a recipe for mini cinnamon rolls? Didn't you make those? And I'm like, yeah. And I texted it to her right away, and she's like, do you have that memorized? I'm like, well, yeah, I made it all the time when you and your brother were little. So our youngest, who is about to turn 13, has testing this week, and he requested these. They're super easy. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't, but I wanted to share. So the first thing you're going to need at 5:30 in the morning is coffee, or tea, whatever your morning drink is. Take a big sip of that because that's important. I've got bacon in the skillet behind me, sizzling this morning. I can't talk yet because I haven't had all the caffeine. But anyway, we're going to get into it. It's super easy. I am using, I didn't save it. I've already tossed it because I opened it, but just a tube of croissants dough, the original. One time I made the mistake years ago and I picked up accidentally the garlic croissants. Those do not make good cinnamon rolls. Don't get those. These are mini cinnamon rolls that we're using. I busted open a tube of croissant dough. It comes rolled up like this, okay? Well, a little bit bigger. I've already unrolled and broken them apart. They come rolled up double, and you just unroll it, and it's going to make a nice little rectangle. You'll see the croissant shapes. So you just lay those out. If you can see, you lay them out and you pinch the seam, that diagonal seam down the middle. You pinch that together and you kind of press it down. So make sure your seam is pressed together. And so I'm going to roll out. It comes in, there's 4 rectangles. It'll break apart into 4 rectangles. So I'm just simply, I've got a cutting board down on my counter, and I'm simply rolling that out and pinching those seams together so you have this, okay? Now don't miss this part because it's so easy. I got sugar here, just regular white granulated sugar. I'm using a spoon. I am not measuring. I'm just simply taking my spoon and drizzling on top of that rectangle. You just put as much as your little heart desires. I got some little chunks in there. And my sugar. That's just the sugar where it got hard. And packaging, simply bust those up. You can use your spoon or whatever you're using. Sometimes I just sprinkle it right out of the container. Usually I have a little mini jar that already has cinnamon and sugar mixed up. Like I'll mix it up myself in a little mason jar, but I don't have that today. I think I ran out last time I made cinnamon rolls. So just get your sugar, just cover your rectangle with sugar. Again, stop when your heart says it's good. And then I've got cinnamon, and I'm just gonna sprinkle the cinnamon right on top of the sugar. Now, if I was making my big cinnamon rolls, I would have put butter down first. You can put butter down before you sprinkle the sugar, but for this recipe, I've never done that. You simply just sprinkle the cinnamon and sugar on here. Once you get that on, it's gonna look like this. And then we're simply just gonna start at one end, and I'm just gonna roll it back up into a tube shape. Some of you, it may try to bust open. That's okay. Just pinch the seams back together. And so, yeah, just pinch it back together. It's okay if it's a little wonky or a little messy, it's gonna be okay. Roll them up. You're gonna end up with 4 little mini rolls of cinnamon goodness. Now, I will tell you this. I have done this where I split it into the croissants and just rolled up and made cinnamon sugar croissants. Those are just as good. I've got a good knife. I've got just a 9-inch pie pan that I have sprayed with some olive oil. And I'm gonna put that right there. And I'm just going to take my knife and cut these into 5 little, look how cute those are, little baby cinnamon rolls, mini cinnamon rolls is what we call them. And you just slide that off your knife into your pan. Only because, you know, you're gonna get cinnamon sugar everywhere if you don't. If they try to come unrolled, just roll them back together in the pan. It's okay. This is an off-brand of croissants. Normally I get the Pillsbury, not a plug. That's just our favorite. But any old, I think this is a store brand, which is usually fine. But I've used, actually, Pillsbury might be my favorite, but it is the most expensive. So a lot of times I use Great Value, because just like the Mississippi Queen, I am fancy like that. And that actually is the one I use the most. Let's not put on airs and act like I buy Pillsbury all the time. Whatever's on sale is what I buy, but this is from a different store, and every store tends to be a little different. But it is best if you work with this dough right out of the fridge. I'm not going to cut that one. I'm going to leave that one a little big when it's still cold. So you end up with this. Aren't those cute? Oh, that one's falling. This is what you end up with. I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven, preheated oven, for about 12 minutes is the perfect number. And so I'll show you when they come out. All right, now we're going to make the glaze that goes on top of the cinnamon rolls while those are in the oven. So I've got powdered sugar. I've got 1/3 of a cup, and it's going to take 2 of these, so 2/3 of a cup. And again, you could do more, you could do less, but to cover all the cinnamon rolls in the pan, there's about 20 little mini cinnamon rolls, 2/3 of a cup of powdered sugar. Get that out of the way. Now I am going to use, this is maple extract. You can use vanilla, whatever extract that you like. I've used vanilla, and maple is, this is what I would put on my big cinnamon rolls. I just want really just, I pour it in there. I just want a few drops. So we're putting that in. And then we're gonna take milk, whatever milk you like. We're gonna do, this is real fancy, we're gonna do 2 capfuls of milk to start. And get yourself a fork. Stir that around. We're not looking for icing, we're just looking for a nice glaze. You'll see that's still a little thick. So we're gonna add in another capful of milk. And so 3 capfuls of milk, and you'll see I just used the cap right off the milk jug just so I don't have to dirty. But if I had to guess, this is probably a teaspoon, maybe. But just use the cap, then you won't have to dirty a dish. And you'll see, this is what we're looking for, just drizzle. We just want a nice drizzle. If you wanted it a little bit thicker, you could have done 2.5 capfuls, but that's what we like. We just want it to be a nice glaze, okay? So there's that. Now, the magic moment is when they come out of the oven. All right, our oven is going off, friends. All right, so here we have it. Mini cinnamon rolls. I wish you could smell. They smell delicious. So we're gonna put our pan down. We've got that glaze that we made. Give it a little stir, and I am just gonna pour it right out of the cup, right on top of the cinnamon rolls. Just drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Isn't that beautiful? Try to get it all out of there. We don't want to waste any of that creamy, sugary goodness. And then we'll put that in the sink. And then there you have it, mini cinnamon rolls. So easy. It's a family favorite. Like I said, our oldest, who is 34, her and her brother had these all throughout their childhood. She just called and asked for the recipe for our grandkids, and our youngest two that are still at home still enjoy these. He's going to be excited when he gets up. Not happy about going for testing at school, but he'll be happy about these mini cinnamon rolls. And of course, I got some bacon. So happy breakfast, friends. I'll be back later this week with something crafty. Love y'all.